Hello there, welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Ungainly Titan, and we're here on the KV2 Dreadnought. It's a couple of games that I had from the KV2 Dreadnought period that I was playing a couple of weeks ago. I've been mostly playing the T67. I'm trying to pull the damage standing up as high as I can, at least before I get completely frustrated. It is really tough going. I have pulled it up to 86 a couple of times and it's gone all the way back down to maybe 82 or 83. 4 or 5 times I think over the last 2 or 3 weeks. But before I go any further, I just want to let people know that are interested for Triumph that there's a new update, 0.11.1.1, came out on the 18th of May. And it's polishing the game up nicely, but it's added a couple of skills to the Paladin and the to the Paladin actually. They're 1 action point skills in the 3 action point move or turn, and it's going to make an interesting addition. I'll possibly put up a bonus video to it either Friday today or over the weekend or early next week at the latest. Meanwhile, back to the action, the KV2. Well, we're on Malinovka, and the problem with Malinovka always is, will enough tanks go to the hill? Because very frequently the top tier heavy tanks just won't go to the hill, or they'll try and attack up the eastern side of the map. Now, the hill doesn't always guarantee you a win in Malinovka either, of course. And of course in Malinovka winter, the eastern side of the map is easier because you can drive along the ice, and you can make that attack work more quickly and more effectively than you can on regular Malinovka. Of course, in any variation of the KV2, you really don't want to be on your own, so you've got to make sure you've got enough people with you. Although, I suppose this one, if things are going wrong, you realise it early enough, is fast enough to get you out of trouble. We're top tier in this one, and it's going to be easy to wipe out lower tier tanks. In fact, it's going to be a bit problem in the sense that it's going to limit the amount of damage you can do. I find one of the problems with this tank actually is that very frequently you are limited in the amount of damage you can do by the number of shots you can actually get off, and you'll always get misses. I mean, it's not a terribly accurate tank, even if it has much better accuracy than the Tech 3 version. I tried with the high explosives there, but I think with the front of a Tiger 1 it's probably a bit too heavily armoured to be slinging just standard HE rounds. And I'll switch back to the armor piercing. So we have I think we have more enemy tanks than allied tanks at the moment. The only thing I'm going for is that I have a really big gun. So I can take down tanks fairly quickly as long as I don't take too much damage when I'm exposing my tank. That KV-90B is going to give me a lot of trouble. Bulldog is pushing very aggressively there along the low ground. And I suppose he's low enough of profile. Well, there's nobody actually in the middle of the field. It looks like our big offensive. Is there a big offensive in the west failed? Don't know, I just see a light tank fighting a medium tank at the moment. Although we're 4 tanks up. So where are we 4 tanks up? Anyway, let's not worry about it. It's also possible that people, of course, have gotten out of radio range at these tiers, especially when there's a lot of tier 7, 6s and 5s. There's a lot of tier 5s. It's very possible that some people there's a cluster of tanks after appearing. So it looks like our tanks have actually succeeded on the western side of the map. It's just they were out of radio range, and that's why they weren't on the minimap. And we're pulling ahead over here as well. Like there's an Ashorn there. I snapped a shot off, but that didn't work. The Stalin isn't. I've had one shot, I think, where I snapped a shot on the move and succeeded so far in this tank. But most of the time, I've actually had to wait for the shots to fully aim in before I managed to get a hit on with this tank. So Stalin isn't as fond of this version as the version that historically existed. I suppose you can't blame him. However, the KV2 established a strange reputation in World War II. I mean, there's a couple of occasions, well, there's at least one occasion where a single KV2 held up an entire Panzer division for an extended period of time. It was something like 48 hours or someplace like that. Anyway, we won. We did about, 1878 damage in 4 penetrating shots. And mostly because I think the tanks didn't have actually more hit points than that. Didn't get us anything special on the line of medals, but we came third by experience, and that light tank in our team did very well. Top gun and 1500 damage in low tier game. Pretty good going. The second game here is in Berlin. Now, I'm not a fan of Berlin, but I don't really dislike Berlin either. But it is a kind of a problem map, I think, because there's so many ways through the city, and your team never covers all of them. No matter what you do these days, ever since I suppose Berlin came out, the tendency of the team is to go one way or the other, or even after a while people get sucked into firefights at different areas and they just leave massive gaps in the map. So it's a great map if fast, medium and light tanks can keep themselves alive towards the middle or late game. There's always an opportunity to sneak a run through the middle and get at the artillery or put cap pressure on, or even win by capping. My initial reaction coming up this side of the map is that I am awfully spare on friends. There's a Batchat 12T up there. I don't want to get involved with a Batchat 12T. I will have trouble hitting it, and it could kill me during a single reload cycle. If I'm going to have to fight it, I want to do it in a really narrow spot like this, where I can stop him driving around me and pin him against the wall so that I can shoot him properly when I have the gun loaded. I do have an allied tank beside me, and there's a light tank coming up, but there's no sign of the enemy. And the trouble is, you see too, there's not enough of us to really cover both sides of where the road kind of splits here. So, one on one side, one on the other. The light tank is being rather brave, I think, and foolish in many respects. It's okay if he goes up there and just runs away when he spots somebody, but if he goes up there and starts fighting people, that would not be a good idea. Because really, light tanks should be trying to keep themselves alive at the early game. Now, the 45 TP, not a great shot. Falls a bit short, I think hits the rubble in front of the tank, and the light tank is continuing to engage the enemy, and he's up against two enemy tanks directly. I'd say the Absolution and whatever's directly behind it. I don't think the 45 TP is in a position to shoot the light tank. However, I'm going to come up. The other tank is coming up and covering the other corridor. So, Black Prince and an Absolution. I don't mind facing off against either of them. I will do significant damage. And here comes a Tiger 1. Remove half his hit points. I got some damage, and I got some damage in the Absolution, but I am still alive, and I did more, and I've took less damage than I did. So I can trade like this a couple of more times, just as long as there are no bigger tanks. Now the allied tank is coming up, but he's blocking me from pulling up beside him, so I have to wait until he comes back, and the Absolution comes broadside on. Did he forget I was there? I mean, he knew there was two of us here. Why did he rush out? Anyway, sometimes you wonder about people. So, we're reloaded, and there's the Absolution again, but I'm not reloaded enough. Not completely reloaded, and he manages to pull back, but he gets killed by my ally. And now I'm just facing the Black Prince. There's no real good spot. I don't actually... Yeah. I didn't intend when I pulled that trigger. I wanted to hit just to the left of the gun mantlet. Didn't really want the gun pointing at the gun mantlet. That's not where I intended to shoot. I wasn't going to put it through the gun mantlet like Black Prince, and even put it through the front of the turret would be problematic. The lower plate here in front would be much easier when we managed to get it through. However, the 53 TP, is it? Or yeah, 53 TP has followed the Black Prince around into the buildings, which takes him out of my line of sight, so I'm going to have to follow up. Again, we have to wait for the reload. Side of the turret's a better shot because it's going to be less problematic than putting it through the side skirts and the tracks and the armour behind it. However, we're now four tanks up, and there's only one think there's only one effective tank remaining here, the 45 TP. Now I'm going to wait until I'm reloaded. There's another heavy tank coming up behind me. And there's the guy that came up with the 53 TP and the 45. The enemy 45 TP is pulled back. He's not going to stick his nose out. I think he knows that I'm here. And he knows the kind of tank that I've got. So, it was a Lova, just a Lova, yeah. He's blocking my line of sight. Really wish people would be more careful about doing stuff like that. But this guy's going to show me the front of the tank and I just put a round through him. And he's got very little health left. I think the Lova should be able to finish him off even if he takes a hit doing it. Round the corner we go. We're what, 4 tanks up, and I think there's not many tanks left, and they're mostly here in front of us. The light tank's been spotted down there off the square. There are a couple of tanks over here. VR was an ARL. He's dead. I don't have a clean shot in the VK100, and he's pulled back down the street. And then a Yak Panther has come careering around the corner, and he's tracked. It was almost aimed, but I didn't actually manage to hit the spot I was aiming for. Bounced that off the side of the Yak Panther, and we just charged down the road now. There's very few tanks left. There is, he's gone around the corner. He's managed to kill the tank in front of him, and he's coming around to turn and face us. But I would easily be able to put it around to the front of his turret, or his casemate. And that's it, game over. 3,000 damage done. 15 enemy tanks destroyed. They only got 9. So that finishes up. It's a fun tank and it's a money maker with a premium account. Okay, I would have lost money there from the amount of premium spam, but I could do full premium spam with a premium account and actually make money. And, you know, not a huge amount of damage or a huge amount of kills. Game number 1 by experience, and it's interesting in a tier 8 game, the top 2 tanks by experience were tier 7s. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and a share. Feel free to comment. And if you've not already done so, please subscribe. I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now.